So Ellie is probably my favorite overall character in video game history, and I've been having an absolute blast playing as her in The Last of Us' new roguelike No Return. I feel like I've learned plenty of useful tips and tricks while playing as her already, and so today we're going to be going through the ultimate guide on playing Ellie in No Return. Now, every character in the game has a playstyle that is pretty much defined when you are picking them, and hers is defined as balanced, meaning that she is essentially the jack of all trades when it comes to all 10 characters within No Return. Ellie starts out with just the regular pistol as well as spawning in with a Molotov too, and on top of that her traits are that she gets 50% more supplements, and for those who don't know, supplements are what you are spending when you're upgrading your character. She'll also start with the recipe for the Molotov, meaning not only do you spawn with one, but you can also make more as soon as you get the required ingredients. And on top of that, and this is probably the best part, she also has 2 upgrade branches when everyone else only gets 1, which combined with the 50% more supplements is very, very handy, as it means you're eventually going to be a lot stronger having more upgrade paths than every other character. Now, like I said, she starts with a single Molotov as well as getting the recipe, and you definitely want to be making the most of these, as not everyone can make Molotovs, at least not until you actually find the recipe, which most of the time is only available through the trading post. And obviously that is going to be lower down on the list of priorities when there are other really good weapons that can be bought in there as well. So definitely make the most of those Molotovs. They're really amazing for crowd control, especially in a mode like Hunted, for example, where it can get pretty damn chaotic, and especially against the infected, when there are a bunch of them chasing you, it is very effective to pretty much lead them all into a big group and then throw a Molotov at all of them, at which point you can kind of take out a bunch at once, and that is obviously going to save you a lot of ammo, and most of the time probably going to save your life in a mode like Hunted. Now, on top of all of that, we all know that Ellie has her trusty knife, meaning you can take out clickers through stealth when not everyone else can. A lot of other characters have no way of actually taking out clickers unless you've got some sort of axe, for example, whereas Ellie can sneak up and take out those clickers. So if you're on any sort of modes where there are clickers, Ellie is very, very effective against them. Her and Joel are realistically the only characters who start out effective against clickers. Everyone else can really struggle against them, and obviously they can one-hit kill you, so that is very, very useful to know. Now, before we go any further, guys, if this is helping you out so far, anyone new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. There is plenty more content on the way focusing on No Return. I will be doing a guide on all 10 characters in the game, so make sure you don't miss out. Now, on top of her knife, Ellie can often get the bow after the first or second encounter, and it will often show up in the trading post. Obviously, it's not going to be every time, but from my playtime with Ellie so far, it is a pretty regular occurrence. And if the bow does show up, it is definitely worth getting, as the bow is one of the best weapons when it comes to your stealthy type of gameplay. Against most enemies, and especially early on anyway, the bow is essentially a one-hit kill provided you hit them in any deadly area. If you shoot them in the leg, not so much, but most of the time shooting an enemy in the torso, even on the harder difficulties, it will result in a one-hit kill. And if you do get the bow, it is also worth upgrading the draw speed to increase your effectiveness in stealth in those chaotic moments. The draw speed on a bow is pretty damn slow, to be honest. So if you're in stealth but someone is just about to see you, then obviously having a faster draw speed means you can take them out before they actually see you and alert the rest of their friends. Now, in terms of the upgrade paths that I mentioned earlier, obviously she starts with 2. She will, as far as I know, always start with the Perseverance upgrade path, and then the second one is essentially randomized. Now, the Perseverance one is definitely worth upgrading to the final one in that path, which is called Endure, and this actually stops lethal blows from being a one-hit kill. The other upgrades in that path are also very much worth it, but this final one is absolutely insane because, like I said before with the clickers, for example, generally speaking, a clicker can one-hit kill you, not so much with Ellie because you get the chance to shiv them, but there are a lot of enemies in this game that can one-hit kill you, for example, bloaters if they grab you and stuff like that, and this just stops any one-hit kills from being a one-hit kill. They will then just leave you with barely any health left, which is still not ideal. You don't want to be getting, massive damage like that if you can avoid it, but stopping a one-hit kill is obviously very, very crucial when it comes to a mode with permadeath. Because of that, you definitely want to be spending your supplements as fast as you can to unlock that, because with the extra 50% more supplements, you can earn those supplements a lot easier with Ellie compared to everyone else. So definitely spend those supplements as fast as you can to unlock that perk. Now, on top of the Perseverance upgrade path, because she starts with 2, and keep in mind the second one is randomized, so it can be a really good one, it could be completely useless, but she will always have that second one from the get-go. It is still worth trying to upgrade the second path as well, simply because, like I said, she earns 50% more supplements, and therefore it doesn't feel like you need to ever save them, because you are pretty much going to unlock everything as you go, whereas other characters, sometimes you do need to kind of save them for when you unlock a new path. It's not really the same with Ellie. She can pretty much upgrade every single path to the maximum as you're going along through the run. So definitely spend those supplements almost as soon as you get them. It is absolutely worth it when it comes to playing as Ellie. Now, like I mentioned before, you can often get the bow in the trading post, and if you do, it is also very much worth trying to get the craft arrow recipe, which is also found in the trading post if you do get that bow. Arrows are very easy to make as they only actually need scissors and tape, which aren't really used by most other crafted items. And obviously the more arrows you have, the longer it allows you to stay in stealth, which oftentimes is very, very crucial depending on the mode. Modes like capture or assault, for example, if you can stay in stealth, it's almost going to guarantee that you can finish those rounds. Whereas if you have to go in guns blazing, that can often lead to your demise. On top of that, keep in mind that if you do loot the enemies who you've killed with the bow and arrow, not every time, but a lot of the time they will actually, I guess, drop the arrow that hit them, meaning you can shoot an enemy and then go loot their body and often pick up that arrow that you shot. And that is definitely worth doing because, like I said, the more arrows you have, the longer you can stay in stealth, and that is crucial in a no return. Overall, like I said, Ellie is essentially an all-rounder, so honestly, it is actually a little bit harder to give specific tips since she is kind of just good at everything. She's pretty good at stealth, she's good at hand-to-hand combat with her knife, she is really good at crowd control with those Molotovs, and she also gets those extra upgrade paths, meaning she is essentially a bit stronger across the board than everyone else. Overall, she is a really good character, and she is actually so far my most successful. I've completed the most runs with Ellie so far, and so hopefully you guys can see some success with her too. But that is it for some of the best tips and tricks when it comes to playing as Ellie, guys. If you guys have any other tips, be sure to leave them down below too. And like I said, keep your eyes peeled for all 9 of the other characters. I will be pumping out these character guides for every single character in No Return. Thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.